Welcome to @Cronkite News, your social sharing connection where you choose the news. Facebook likes and shares, tweets, retweets, and favorites. YouTube views and subscriptions. We're watching you watch us. From our digital home at cronkitenews.azpbs.org to your television, web browser, or mobile device. Let's get a refresh on the top Arizona news of the week.
The first airport terminal straddling the border is open. Travelers from the U.S. who want to catch direct flights in Mexico can now go back and forth without waiting in long lines at the border. Cronkite News reporter Clara Benitez shows us how the new terminal looking in San Diego and how the new terminal linking San Diego and Tijuana works.
U.S. travelers who want to fly out of the international airport in Tijuana, Mexico, can now cross the border by simply walking into this terminal.
They're through immigration and customs and check in right into their flight. And likewise, when they come back, they arrive in the baggage area, cross the bridge, and they're in the United States within minutes. And it's an amazing level of service that people have never seen before and are really starting to take advantage of it.
The Cross-Border Express CBX connects San Diego directly to Tijuana. This line is the border. Airline passengers pay a $12 fee to use this privately owned facility. Frequent travelers like Jesus Ochoa Padilla say it's worth it.
The service is great. Sometimes I wait up to 2 hours or 3 hours to cross the border, but here it's fast and my family can come pick me up.
The Cross-Border Express took about 8 years to finalize, with agreements on both sides of the border, including U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
It's a partnership, so the sponsor's providing all the facilities and the payment for the officers, and the CBP handles all the inspectional and security requirements.
Tijuana International Airport has over 33 flight destinations every day, and flights to China 3 times a week, giving travelers more options.
A bit greater access for Southern Californians and people in the southwest part of the United States to be able to access tourism destinations, Baja California, Puerto Vallarta, Acapulco, all of those places in Mexico that people want to go to.
And it could be a model for other border airports, making travel easier and more efficient. Clara Benitez, Cronkite News.
The new cross-border terminal opened in San Diego in December. It's expected to ease travel for millions of people. At least half of the passengers who use the Tijuana airport also go back and forth across the border.
A Flagstaff High School guidance counselor who won a trip to the White House will be coming home with a national award. Washington Bureau reporter Wafa Shahid has the details.
I'm here outside of the White House, where First Lady Michelle Obama just named the 2016 Counselor of the Year. She happens to be Catherine Pastor, a high school counselor at Flagstaff High School.
Today was real fulfilling, knowing that all the hours and time that you put in at your job and away from your job on making students inspired to do more than what they think that they can do is reassuring that I'm doing the right thing.
The First Lady, backed by 42 counselors from all over the country, was especially impressed with Flagstaff High School.
In just 7 short years, Flagstaff High School they've seen a 13% increase in college acceptance rates and a 50% increase in the number of colleges that visit their campus.
And the First Lady was also impressed with Catherine Pastor.
Pastor wants nothing more than to see students succeed and become the best versions of themselves. The students said that is school counseling. Yeah.
One of Pastor's former students spoke about how she has helped him succeed even years after high school.
Even though it has been 4 years since I graduated from Flagstaff High School, Ms. Pastor continues to reach out and assist with any questions I have.
But all this celebration hasn't clouded Pastor's mind. She's ready to get back to work come Monday.
And to go back on Monday, hit the ground running again, and keep inspiring those young people to live up to their potential and reach their dreams.
Reporting in Washington, D.C., I'm Wafa Shahid, Cronkite News.
By now, you've seen the photo, a group of girls that were supposed to be spelling out Best You've Ever Seen Class of 2016 for their senior panorama picture broke off to spell out a racial slur using the letters on their shirts. Today, for the first time since the incident, administrators are speaking out to our own Julia Thatcher.
In an exclusive interview with Cronkite News, I sat down with the principal to discuss the future of Desert Vista and for those involved in the photo, but I also spoke with a former teacher at the high school who said this isn't the first time Desert Vista has had a problem with racism.
The unfortunate situation that happened does not define Desert Vista.
Words from the principal at Desert Vista High School. However, former teacher Cicely Cobb says otherwise.
Seeing that photo let me know that I wasn't imagining it, that there actually were severe systemic racial issues on that campus.
Cobb filed this lawsuit in 2014 against the Tempe Union High School District, claiming racial discrimination. She said she wasn't surprised when the controversial photo surfaced 10 days ago.
This issue with the Desert Vista 6 would not be an issue right now if the Tempe Union High School District had taken the time to fully explore the systemic racism that permeated Desert Vista High School.
The former principal, now a defendant in the lawsuit, was quick to dismiss the allegations.
Has nothing to do with or even close relationship to what was experienced with the non-renewal of Cicely Cobb.
The photo quickly sparked national attention and local protest.
I come here to say that I am incredibly sorry.
Now, as the school district determines the future of the 6 girls, a petition asking for their expulsion and the principal's resignation has reached more than 45,000 signatures.
We will rise above.
Despite the controversy, the embattled principal told me she and Desert Vista will survive.
We are a community that love each other and know that we all make mistakes, and we will forgive each other, and we're going to work together and rise above this situation to be better and stronger.
We reached out to the 6 girls involved in hopes to get an interview, but have yet to hear back. As of right now, only one of the 6 have made a statement of any kind. In Phoenix, Julia Thatcher, Cronkite News.
The district was very clear that they will not be sharing any specifics on decisions regarding any punishment. They did share, however, that schools can only give 1 to 10 days suspension, depending on the infraction. After 10 days, there may be hearings attached to any additional discipline, and the school board will make a final decision.
A new app is hitting the market, and it's heating up the competition between Arizona State and the University of Arizona students. Cronkite News reporter Amanda Kukala takes us to where it's happening.
Ever wonder what's happening around your campus, but not really know how to find out? Well, the new app Happening is set to help students with just that.
It's pretty much Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and like news channels all combined into one.
And it's specifically for college students who want to know what's happening around campus. The Happening app is available to download for free to any college student with an EDU email.
It's a way for students and just people on campus to connect with the community, find out what's going on, if it's study groups, restaurant deals, pretty much anything.
Happening allows users to take videos or pictures of what's going on around campus and upload them to share with their college community. There are categories such as fashion trends to who's at the current sporting event. Luke Pineda, a current ASU student, can't wait for the release.
I'm actually super excited of us college students. It's going to be nice if we have nothing to do on a certain night. We can just log into this app and see what's going on around campus and see what's happening.
At least 1,400 more students at ASU need to download the app in order for its features to be released. The Happening crew and the ASU ambassadors hope to reach this goal by the end of the week. Retha Hill, director of the ASU Innovation Lab, believes that it's a good marketing strategy towards college students.
Well, I think the tell is going to be word of mouth. If a certain number of people download it and then it's an app that's useful to them, then they'll become one of those utilitarian apps that people reach for time and time again.
To drive students to download the app, the Happening team created a friendly competition between school rivalries, ASU and U of A. Whoever receives the most downloads by the end of the time period, the Happening team will reward the winning school. The app is available on any mobile device. In the broadcast center, Amanda Kukala, Cronkite News.
As one of ABC's top reality shows, Shark Tank has long grabbed viewers' attention and showcased some of the best and worst business pitches.
This is Sential, a startup created by 4 ASU graduate students. Their latest project is called Unicorn, a device that performs chest compression for people experiencing cardiac arrest.
Situations like whole chaotic, it's tense, and how people kind of try to save a life, and there will be like multiple people. Why can't a machine simply just replace the people and reduce the chaos?
Yashwan says his first-hand tragic experience is what inspired him.
I lost my grandfather due to cardiac arrest, and he was in a railway station and nobody gave him CPR.
Tomorrow, They will take their idea to Spark Tank, a contest held by the W.P. Carey School of Business at ASU to compete for a $50,000 prize. According to the event organizer, the winning team gets more than just money.
The Sun Devil Igniter Challenge is funded by 4 gentlemen who make up our board, and they have personally donated the money to give students the opportunity to move their venture forward. Not only do they get money, but they get mentorship from these 4 very successful entrepreneurs as well.
In Scottsdale, I'm Zizeng, Cronkite News.
A local Valley business owner is going into the Shark Tank willingly. Cronkite News reporter Lauren Michaels spoke to the entrepreneur who will appear on the hit ABC show this week.
Shark Tank has invested more than $66 million in small businesses in its 6 seasons. And now a Phoenix entrepreneur is hoping to get a deal too.
What do you want to sell, donate, and keep?
Many of us see spring cleaning as a chore. Angela Cody Rouget sees it as a career.
My husband said, you know what? You're really organized and you like doing it. And for everyone we know, why don't you do it for a living?
Her business began in 2006 when this former major in the U.S. Air Force completed 16 years of service and needed a job. She never imagined that 10 years later, her company, Major Mom, would get national recognition with an appearance on ABC's Shark Tank.
Shark Tank seemed like an amazing opportunity to get my brand out there, and that may have taken me the next 10 to 20 years to do.
Cody Rouget got the opportunity after sending a video audition to the show.
Organize it, declutter it, and redesign it.
The mother of 2 is hoping to snag a shark in order to franchise Major Mom and create opportunities for other women.
You know, be my own boss and run a company where I can grow.
Here are some before and after photos from Major Mom. They helped over 300 families get organized this past year. Cody Rouget says Major Mom will get a boost no matter what happens on Friday's show.
Which shark wants to partner with me to combat clutter?
Cody Rouget could not talk about the outcome for Friday's taped episode, but she did say the whole experience was nerve-wracking and that she practiced her pitch for 70 hours before going in front of the Sharks. In the control room, I'm Lauren Michaels, Cronkite News.
Social media from Facebook and Twitter to Snapchat and Instagram. It can be hard for parents to keep track of what their children are doing on all of these apps and websites, but Cronkite News reporter Gilbert Cordova finds a Valley business that's here to help.
Radar Incorporated created a service that will track what your kids are doing online, all so you don't have to monitor all of them. Students at Liberty Elementary in Buckeye are one of the first to take the challenge of making their school free of bullying. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, nearly 30% of students are bullied at school, and at least 64% of those students do not report it to their teachers or families.
Nowadays, social media plays a good part, but it plays a very, very bad part. So Radar stands there to help families protect their kids' image, as well as help protect them from cyberbullying.
Founder and CEO Jacob DiMartino first started out managing social media accounts for small businesses, but saw an alarming trend.
How bad social media was playing a role in young kids' life and suicides.
Which led to Radar, a paid service that monitors the social media accounts for parents through keywords such as terrorism, violence, and sex. If the word pings, parents get an alert and a snapshot of the activity. Radar also goes into schools to hold anti-cyberbullying rallies. According to ncpc.org, nearly 43% of kids have been bullied online, and 1 in 4 has had it happen more than once. Michelle Campbell has 2 children and uses Radar. She says it goes beyond just peace of mind.
Safety is top priority, so for me as a parent, you must keep your kids safe, and it's a new day, a new age, and online safety is just as important as keeping them safe at home.
No, I'm not saying it's going to save lives, but I can tell you this. The information that it will pull up will definitely give a parent an online pulse of what's going on with their kid.
Research from the Pew Research Center shows that parents have started to take matters into their own hands, with 61% of parents saying they have checked which websites their teens visit. At the Digital Desk, I'm Gilbert Cordova, Cronkite News.
Native Americans from across the country say they went to Washington, D.C. last week to try to avert an environmental disaster. They're calling uranium pollution a threat to their lands. Cronkite News reporter Maricela Ramirez joins us live from our Washington bureau with the latest.
Water problems in Flint, Michigan have been making headlines for weeks now. But some Arizona residents say there's a bigger problem that demands attention.
There's this whole issue with Flint, Michigan, and I'm trying to bring a lot of attention to the community of Sanders and what's going on in Sanders as well.
Although we have worked for decades.
What's happening in Sanders and elsewhere in Indian country is radioactive pollution, causing major health effects.
We breathe in radioactive pollutions every day from coal smoke, from the abandoned uranium mines, plus we drink water that contains uranium.
Charmaine Whiteface of the Sioux Nation and other indigenous people see their effects every day.
My father died from cancer, I've had cancer, my daughter has cancer, and now my son is dying from lupus. And is it because they don't know? Yet they do know. So why isn't something being done about all these abandoned uranium mines?
Protesters brought this question to Washington, where they urged the EPA and Congress to take action.
We have a bill that we're trying to get passed through Congress to clean up the 15,000 plus abandoned uranium mines in the United States.
In the meantime, Tommy Rock is playing it safe.
We keep saying that drink bottled water, buy bottled water, and do not drink the public water.
Rock and others were scheduled to discuss their grievances with the EPA last week. Officials with the agency were not available for comment today. Live in Washington, Maricela Ramirez, Cronkite News.
Concrete arrows are scattered across the U.S., 12 of which still remain here in Arizona. It sounds primitive, but it was very effective. And that's exactly how the first airmail pilots navigated the skies.
They had to develop some innovative ways because they didn't have the fancy navigational systems.
By 1924, along with the concrete arrows, approximately 1,500 beacons lit the way.
They've been using those big concrete arrows. They were about 60, 75 feet long, and they were painted bright yellow. And they just pointed, this is the way, just follow the arrow. It was really flying by the seat of your pants.
In the 1920s, the United States Post Office Department, with funding from Congress, created the Transcontinental Airmail Service that spanned from New York to San Francisco. During World War II, most of the beacons were taken down due to the scarcity of metal. And although this tower behind me wasn't built in the 1920s to deliver mail, most of the beacons look similar to this. Pilots flew from each arrow and beacon, guiding them along the route to deliver the mail.
Jack Knight was a friend of my dad's, and he was very famous because he flew the first all-night airmail through snowstorms and everything else.
Rather than several days by train, mail took only 30 hours to go across country by air. But once World War II broke out, these concrete arrows and beacons slowly disappeared.
They were kind of worried about World War II, that the enemy pilots could be able to follow those arrows if they were coming from New York to Los Angeles.
Although these concrete arrows are now harder to come by, they still capture the imaginations of people who run across them.
It fascinates me, and especially when I'm flying along and I say, oh, there's one of those arrows. How cool.
The arrows do show up on Google Earth maps, but those aren't updated. Last time I checked, there appeared to be about 18 or so left here in the state of Arizona. In downtown Phoenix, Ben Brown, Cronkite News.
Even as Arizona struggles in national business rankings, it's among the best for states' employment in aerospace and defense. Cronkite News reporter Audrey Wheel shows us how this industry impacts the state.
The Boeing plant in Mesa plays a crucial role in military operations worldwide, and it's part of one of the largest and fastest growing industries in Arizona.
Not only is it stealthy, but it's deadly.
There's a reason the Apache is known as the world's premier attack helicopter.
There's nothing like it. To be able to come in from afar, spot an enemy target from afar, and come in and engage them, it's very effective, and that's why it's widely used.
The AH-64 Apache attack helicopter supports the U.S. military and 15 of its allies, and every order worldwide is produced by Boeing employees in Mesa.
Even though they're working here in Mesa, Arizona,
They're making a difference in Afghanistan. They're making a difference in Saudi Arabia. They're making a difference in Asia Pacific.
Nearly 2,200 Apaches have been made here since the early 80s. According to the Arizona Commerce Authority, Arizona ranks among the top 5 in employment for aerospace and defense manufacturing.
Historically, it's been about a quality workforce, affordable land, favorable tax and regulatory environment, and all of that kind of put together has created quite a strong business climate for aerospace and defense contractors.
The Commerce Authority says Arizona's A&D exports rose nearly 22% from 2011 to 2014.
We have a number of advantages when it comes to aerospace defense. Most of it is airspace, wide open spaces, places for them to test aircraft, places for defense systems to operate.
A few of the reasons why the National Guard held its first gunfighter fly-in competition in Arizona, using the AH-64s to simulate real-world flying and gunnery scenarios. But even as established companies like Boeing flourish, attracting new companies to the state can be difficult. Critics point out Arizona dropped from 13th to 34th last year in CNBC's state rankings for business.
It's a challenge because you've described what every development organization, every state, every city, every region is aspiring to right now. How do we get mobile capital to locate in our state?
Despite the challenges, experts predict Arizona aerospace and defense employment will increase 10% each year through 2018, thanks in part to the strength of the Apache.
Sports
Boeing
nutrition
says
is
it
a
has solid production
$6.7
through
billion
2026,
annual industry
and that the
in the
Army
United
is planning
States.
to fly
And one
Apaches
new
well
company
into
is bringing their
2060.
product
In
to
the
the Rock and
Broadcast
Roll
Center,
Marathon
Audrey Wheel,
Series.
Cronkite News.
Sports reporter Torrance Dunham has the story of this company creating its place in the market.
Glucose Energy, a small company based in Scottsdale, is trying to find a niche in a highly competitive sports nutrition market, using only a few ingredients to fuel athletes.
We are the only company that uses glucose as our energy source. We use a lot more potassium than we use sodium for our electrolytes. We believe that the potassium, we get enough sodium in our diets, and we're deficient in most cases on potassium, so we use a little bit more potassium than most people.
Glucose hit the market in 2015 and recently became the official gummy and gel of the Rock and Roll Marathon Series, making its debut with the race in Arizona earlier this month. But there is some disagreement about whether a sports nutrition product needs more than just glucose for optimal performance on the course.
If you combine glucose with fructose, all right, typically glucose and fructose in a 2:1 ratio. One of the things that nicely happens is that it actually raises the rate of burning of fuel that you're consuming and preserves the fuel in your muscle and your liver so that you can actually last longer.
While fructose does have some benefits, McCormick says the negatives outweigh the benefits provided.
Fructose has two negative byproducts that glucose does not. One is lactic acid, which creates muscle pain, and the other one, which is even worse, is triglycerides, otherwise known as fat or blood sludge. It's the worst kind of fat you can get. So glucose has no byproducts, but fructose does.
One runner who used the product glucose before finishing the race right here at Tempe Beach Park said there are many factors that can affect performance.
It's subjective. You do all different things. If you have a really good day, you don't know, well, was it the product I used? Was it the training? Was it that I woke up right? You really never know. You just try and do what you can.
In Tempe, Torrance Dunham, Cronkite News.
Glucose says there will be more forms of the product in the future, all which use the carbohydrate glucose as the main fuel source.
Now, here's an @Cronkite News pick of the week, a favorite from the Cronkite News staff.
Uber, the company that can give you a car ride on demand through an app on your phone, has changed its logo. Uber's website says the logo was changed in order to accommodate for new products because Uber doesn't just transport people anymore. In fact, today was Uber Puppy Day in preparation for Animal Planet's Puppy Bowl 11 and Super Bowl 50. And as Audrey Wheel reports, this pregame activity happened today in 7 cities, including Phoenix.
This afternoon, the Uber app was for more than just ordering rides. Phoenix area residents could click on puppies to get puppies delivered anywhere, even your workplace, for a 15-minute playdate. It was for a good cause.
When you request Uber puppy cuddle time, you'll be making a donation to the Arizona Humane Society, so we hope to raise lots of funds to support our life-saving programs.
And for good publicity.
Partnering with the Arizona Humane Society, being able to deliver puppies for 15 minutes at a time, it's good for them and their public image, and it makes them be endeared by the community as a whole.
Uber delivered puppies in 7 cities today, including Phoenix, in preparation for the upcoming Super Bowl and Puppy Bowl this weekend.
Every company, every brand has its ups and downs with some problems, but that doesn't mean a brand isn't good and doesn't want to do good things. There's a win-win for them, the person who gets the puppy, and certainly Arizona Humane Society.
For $30, customers could buy 15 minutes of puppy playtime. But last year, demand exceeded supply, and it was just as popular this year.
There was actually so many requests for people that were coming, and requesting the Ubers, thousands of requests. Of course, we couldn't accommodate all of them.
Last year, 70 puppies were adopted in the participating cities, including all of the Phoenix puppies. This year, the Arizona Humane Society hopes that all 10 of the delivered puppies will also be adopted. In Phoenix, Audrey Wheel, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News tracks your likes, tweets, and shares from all our social sites to bring you this news special. At Cronkite News, our weekly refresh. Join the conversation so you choose the news. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org for top Arizona stories anytime.
8 is Arizona PBS, a service of Arizona State University.